Hi, so today's video is going to be about something that happened to me a long time ago and something that is connecting it currently for me, and it's still happening to me every day. And the information is coming so fast to me that I think that I just need to get this story out there so that I can do updates on it. So I guess about like 3 years ago or so, or maybe it was like 3.5 years ago. My daughter is 3, and so I believe I was pregnant and had the 3 boys. I was taking care of them. I was pregnant. I was working full time doing hair, and my ex-husband was up in Alaska. He is a commercial fishing boat captain, and I was at home raising a family and working full time. And those of you women who have husbands who are in the military or just drive trucks or do anything like that where they work far away, you know that it's difficult. It's really hard, and God makes us strong, and He gives us our manna so that we can take care of our families the right way. So what happened was we were in a tough spot, and neither of us could, we lacked the foresight, I guess, to see our way out of the situation, and we were kind of in a panicky situation, and we were trying to figure out what we should do, and we were having a heated conversation about money and how we were going to make ends meet and meet the bills and the obligations that we had. And Mark had suggested that I go to Phoenix, which is about an hour from where I live, and that I get a part-time job. And I have the same reaction now that I had then, which probably wasn't comforting to him, but I laughed really hard because I was like, there's only 24 hours in a day. And anyways, he just probably was giving suggestions at this point. Like, sometimes our husbands think that they can just, sometimes we just need them to listen, right? And he was giving me a suggestion, and I thought it was hysterical, and I got off the phone like, okay, he doesn't even know. So at any rate, I had been coming up from Phoenix, and the kids and I had a rental car because at the time the engine needed to be rebuilt in the truck. I couldn't drive it down this big hill. We have this huge hill that we have to drive up and down, and it's a big change in elevation. And so I dropped this rental car off, and I was coming back, and this song, Show Me Your Glory, from Third Day was on, and I was singing. I really love Christian music. I get into it when I listened to secular music. If I thought that the song was about God, it was instantly like my favorite song, and I would listen to it over and over and over. So when I finally got tapped into the fact that, you know, the majority of Christian music is about God, I fell in love with it, and it touches me so deeply in my soul, and I just it's helped me through so many things. So this song, Show Me Your Glory, is being sung by somebody as if they were Moses, and I've listened to the lead singer of Third Day talk about how he was doing a study on Moses. And a few days earlier, somebody had said, like, if you could go back in history and see any, you know, biblical event, what would it be? And I was like, you know, most people would probably want to see the resurrection. They would want to see maybe the crucifixion. Maybe they would want to see, you know, the Pentecost time when the Holy Spirit came to the disciples, and, you know, they were really spending time with him. And I was like, I want to see Moses part the Red Sea. Like, that sounds super cool, right? Like, you know, the army's coming after them, and like they're lost. They don't have any way to go. They're like, which way do we go? Where do we go? And then like he, you know, and the water opens, and I just think super, super awesome. So
how do you make me know what my mom is?
that's my baby girl, sweetie. And so anyhow, are you going to film with me? So anyhow, I had really connected with that song, and I thought it was really, really awesome. And I had been talking to the kids about Moses, right? About how he, thank you, about how he went into the wilderness.
And know what you can blow candles.
Do you
Buy
know?
a new couch, a new chair, a new bed, and a new candle.
We've been doing a little bit of redecorating, so
Yep,
she's like, she's the new design girl. Don't catch your hair on fire. There's a candle here. So anyways, I was talking to my children about Moses and about how he took the Israelites into the wilderness, and how they were complaining and they were griping. And I just want to read some of that because God has brought it to my attention, that this is something that I'm supposed to be speaking on. So I'm going to read Exodus 16. He's already told the Pharaoh, like, if you don't let my people go, God's going to bring plagues upon you. And he did bring plagues. And I believe that there were 10 of them. And then finally he let them go when God struck his son. He let them go, and then he realized what he had done, and he wasn't happy about. Somebody, one of his higher up guys was saying, you know, I'm not happy about you doing that. I think we made the wrong decision. And so then he sent
when you get the subscribe, thumbs up.
yeah, I guess subscribe and give a thumbs up. I'm going to read Exodus chapter 16. So they've already been taken through the Red Sea, and now they're in the wilderness. They were awaiting the promised land. So and they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came into the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat the bread to the full. For you have brought us forth into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. They were hungry. Felt like they were starving, and they were like, you might as well have just left us there in Egypt, because now you brought us out here and we're all going to starve to death. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from the heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they think they will walk in my law or no. So this little Bible is a little interesting. It's got some, the text is a little bit older, and some of the words are interesting. Like I was reading one yesterday, and it said an hundred, A-N, 100. So we're not really used to that, right? That's not like the English that we get taught in school. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day that they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moses and Aaron said unto the children of Israel, At even then you will know that it's the Lord that hath brought you out of the land of Egypt. And in the morning you shall see that it's the glory of the Lord, for that he that hears your murmurs against the Lord. And what are we that you murmur against us? So Moses is saying, like, why do you gripe against us? And Moses said, This shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. And that the Lord hears your murmurings, and that which you murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. And Moses spoke unto Aaron and said, Unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aaron spake it to the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the clouds. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, and speak unto them, saying, At even ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall eat and be filled with bread, and you shall know that I am the God your Lord. And it came to pass that even the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay around about the host. So basically in the morning there was kind of a dew on the ground, and then when that kind of evaporated, or you know how sometimes in the morning there's like dew on flowers or whatever, and then it evaporates. So when that evaporated, there was still something left on the ground, and they were like, what is this? And when the dew that lay down there was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoar frost on the ground. Hoar, that's an interesting word. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, it's manna. For this wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. This is the thing that the Lord had commanded. Gather it, every man according to his eating, an omer for every man according to the number of your persons, and take ye every man for them which are in his tents. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer that he gathered, it had nothing, and had nothing over. He that had gathered little had no lack, and they that had gathered every man according to his eating. Moses said, let no man leave of it until the morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened unto Moses, but some of them left it until the morning, and it got worms in it, and it stank, and Moses was wroth with them. He got upset with them, and he was like, okay, like, I'm giving you the commandments here. I'm telling you what God is telling me so that we can live out here, and you were griping because you were hungry, and now I'm telling you how we got to do this, and you know, you're not listening. And now there's like, you know, think about things back then. They didn't have indoor plumbing or whatever. I mean, they literally were in the wilderness. So, you know, if somebody got sick or something, like, that would spread very quickly. You know, he's saying that some of this meat has worms and things like that, which is super yucky and stinky. And you guys can imagine, I'm sure you've had like stinky chicken that you've like thrown in the trash early, and you're like, oh man, trash isn't coming until like 5 days. And it kind of has this odoriferous thing going on, and it's no bueno, right? It's not good. So, and they gathered it every morning according to his eating, and when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all of the rulers of the congregation came to Moses and said to them, this is that which the Lord had said. Tomorrow is the day of rest. It's the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which you were going to bake today, and see that you will seethe today, and that the remnant lay over for you tomorrow in the morning. And that it laid up until the morning. And Moses bade, so he obeyed that, and he did not want anything to stink, and neither was there any worms or anything. So normally, if they had some left over from the day before, it would be rotten and it would have worms in it. But because God had commanded them to take a double portion the day before the Sabbath, that remnant that was left over for the day of rest was not rotten. It was still good, and they could eat it, and it was enough for them. And so they laid it up until the morning, and Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worms. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord, and you shall not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, right? The Sabbath, this is important stuff here. Like, this is relevant to how he created everything, and that we should be taking a day of rest. He didn't just make us to work 7 days a week, and that even we have seasons of hard work, and that we should have seasons of rest in our life. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day to gather, and they found none. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? Okay, I'm only laughing because honestly, like, I feel like God gets it, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But like, I can be a knucklehead too. Like, I know that God with me sometimes is like, how long ye are you not going to keep my commandments? And I'm like, I don't know. Just one more day. No, there is no one more days. Like, time is up, you know? The world is the way that it is, and And I don't want to live in it one more day without being who he's calling me to be, which is why I'm here and doing these videos. So here we go. And it came to pass that they went out some people on that day. There was none. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long you refuse to keep my commandments? See, for that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he'd given you the 6th day, the bread of 2 days. Abide in every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So he wants people to rest. So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna. And it was like a coriander seed white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. So, I mean, I don't know. Was he raining? Like, literally, I've never eaten quail. Does it taste like chicken? It's like chicken and waffles? Like, God's like raining chicken and waffles like out of the sky? Like, okay, sign me up. And like maple syrup. And Moses said, this is the thing with the Lord commanded. Fill an omer for it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread that I have fed you in the wilderness. That's also significant, that the bread, when Jesus was breaking the bread and at the Last Supper and offering up his body as the last sacrifice, it's important to remember that. I have fed you in the wilderness, and I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord, and it'll be kept for your generations, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron to lay up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna for 40 years until they came to a land inhabited. They did not eat manna, but they came into the borders of the land of Canaan. And now an omer is the 10th part of an ephah. So 40 years he had them in the wilderness. Okay. And so I was explaining this story to my kids. Okay. And just talking about how God is perfect and how he gives us manna, and how we gripe and we complain. And it was significant to the situation that I was going through at the time with my ex-husband. And I came home and I was so excited because God spoke to my soul. It was significant because God had spoken to me and told me that this life, this earthly life that we live, this human life that we live, that this is the wilderness for us. That we were in slavery as the Israelites were in slavery in Egypt. And that us living here from the day that we're born until the day that we die. I have my daughter here this morning, and so that's fun. When you're trying to get something done and accomplished. Anyways, so that the day that, from the day that we're born until the day that we die, that we have a chance here to listen to his commandments, and mostly that he gives us manna. He gives us what we need every day. And think about that. Like, we were born onto this planet, okay, where literally everything that we need to live was here for us. The things that we needed to build shelter, and the things that we need to sustain our bodies, whether you're a vegan or whether you eat meat, okay, that every system here works perfectly in balance with humans. If you look around and see what we have done with what God has given us on this planet, the homes and the neighborhoods that we build, and the businesses that we build, and the cars that we build in order to get us from point A to point B. If you take a look at, you know, the things that we've done with the resources that he's put on this planet for us, you will see that he's placed everything here that we need to live in the wilderness while we are awaiting to go into the promised land. So I've been having a really amazing experience with this manna wilderness thing. In my own life, God has taken me through a wilderness season. And then it was revealed to me that, I mean, I was at the point where I actually thought that my house was haunted, or that I had, you know, like a demon on top of me attacking me or whatever. And then God revealed to me that it wasn't that. It wasn't that. That he had to take me into a wilderness season and strip away those things from me that I was chasing in order to get me alone with him, in order to develop an intimacy with me again, in order to bring me back to him, to reconcile my heart to him. And I just want to urge you, if there's any of you who are going through a wilderness season, if you feel like you can't feel the Lord near you, if you feel like he's forgotten you, if you feel like he can't see you, he doesn't see your situation, he sees you. He sees you. And that even though it may be a wilderness season and you might feel like he's far away from you, you know, and that sometimes the reason for that can be like a Hosea 14 issue where, you know, there's repentance that needs to happen. But what I realized was that there was an actual wilderness season that he was calling me to, calling me into, and that looking back, I had what I needed. I had what I needed, and you know, sometimes you can look back in hindsight's 2020 and you think, well, I wish I would have had a little bit more faith. And so here is something, if you're going through something like that and you want to have just a little bit more faith. First one is Ezekiel 34:25. And he says, I will make a covenant of peace with them and eliminate harmful beasts from the land so that they may live in security in the wilderness and sleep in the woods. And the other one that I'm going to be talking about a little bit more is this Hosea 2:14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak kindly to her. I'm going to kind of end there. Thank you for watching, and I am going to do the next video. We're talking more about the wilderness. God just connected some dots for me this morning, and I was going to share a revelation that I had from the book of Hosea, and this morning he opened up a portion of Hosea that is about the wilderness as well, and I'm going to talk about that next time. So thank you for watching, and God bless.